tequila walk around the Belair today?
I think so.
I think so, man. This has been a long time coming, this one. Oh my God.
It's finally done. It's finally buttoned up.
You know, some of the best cars are the ones that fight you the most. So, but a little stroll around this thing, and it is gorgeous. I guess just starting off with the color. It's actually a Corvette color. It's called Rhythm and Blues. Before that, I think it was called Oakheart Lake Blue was the actual color. So we added a little bit more to it, you know, a little bit more metallic, a little bit more pearl. It came out gorgeous. We were shooting pictures outside there. It was just fantastic. So we'll take you a little stroll around this. To start with the base of this car, it's a custom chassis with C4 Corvette suspension front and rear, so it's independent rear. Really nice A-arm system on the front, all boxed in. And then we just sort of just keep going. So it's got the big Corvette brakes on it, custom rims to clear the calipers and everything. And actually, the calipers are so big, we had to go to stubby air fillers for the
valve stems.
They were just click, 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 just touching the thing, right? So it's interesting because on these cars there's a lot of reproduction trim, but this car actually has some repolished original because a lot of it was in bad shape. So we've got a little bit of mixture of reproduction stuff and original. But I mean, man, they sure knew how to chrome these cars up back in the day. You know, the quarters and all the trim work that's on them. There's just a lot of little subtle stuff. We'll go around the car and show you. It's got lots of little billet pieces. You know, we've got the braces underneath here, other brackets you can see, billet hinges. We also did a little extra work here. We've got polished stainless panels on the sides that hide a bunch of the AC work. And then on this side, of course, there's electrical panels as well. So this is 5.25 horse LS3. And we did the covers for the owner. That's the way he wanted them. We think we might actually add the Belair to that cover yet. We made a short intake for it instead of having the big piece that comes around the side here. There's a PCV valve system that's a little bit different. We've got that on it. We plumbed all that in. March pulley system. These guys are down in Buffalo.
It's a pretty big radiator, isn't that?
Crazy, man. The work on it is fantastic. It's Wizard Cooling down in Buffalo, and it's got your condenser in it. You know, it comes with the overflow. It's just really nice stuff. You know, if you step back a bit, you know, you can see the Dagmars on the front are really nice. That's just a great detail. We've got LED headlights, gold, gold grille. The trim on the hood here is just fantastic. You know, we've got that nice. The bullets are all beautiful. Look at the chrome in front of it. Just beautiful stuff. And then if we just keep coming around, we've got the gold accents on the side. And of course we've got them in the back and the emblems. When we get to the back, I'll show you a few little details there, but the interior is quite nice. We had part of this was a pre-made interior, and we certainly had our hands full with it. I don't like to say stuff about other people's things, but it was a ton of work.
Yeah, some of the stitching is a little bit misaligned, but that's what's nice about having our in-house upholstery people.
Right,
they can really.
You know, we have 2 trimmers in-house, so basically we had to take a lot of it apart. The owner wanted and his wife wanted the 3-point harnesses on the front seats, and there was no bracketry for that, so we made all that system and then mounted the retractors at the bottom. It's got a 6-speed, it's a T56. It's got all kinds of gizmos in this thing. It's got the Tajir, the stereo system's got iPod, Bluetooth, on and on and on. So
literally everything. I heard from power windows, front and rear, as well as these little front windows.
So they're power vent windows, power windows, power locks, You can hit a remote, all the 4 windows go down at once. It has a full security system all the way around in it, which runs off of another fob. There's no room left in the doors. They're full.
Door poppers in the trunk.
The trunk. We call him Mr. Gizmo. There's a reason for that, John. So, but anyway, it's been fun. It's been a lot of work. I have a number of pictures, which you'll see through the video, of what we started with. And, you know, they don't look too bad when they come in with the faded paint. And then you just get them apart, and, you know, it's got all kinds of, there was patchwork done probably 25 years ago on it. So we did a lot of metal work on it. We had to do some modifications of the floor, in the front. It is a beautiful car. You know, it's an interesting interior combo, but I think it goes really well with the blue. You know, the 4 buckets with the center console and cup holders. Great car. Custom pedals. This is a drive-by-wire system in it. And as you can see on the dashboard, some of John's little extras, the grill and the reflector to see the lights and stuff like that. So beautiful. You know, underneath the dash is pretty packed on this thing. You've got you know, all that air conditioning stuff, all the modules from the motor and stuff up as well. So it takes up a lot of space. These cars weren't designed for that. We went with the dual antennas because that was the look from back in the day. Instead of doing the one, you do the 2. And take you to the back here. It's got some great stuff. So the bumper, these barrettes here are bumperettes are from a Nomad wagon. They didn't come on these. We've got a LED third light in the V under the Chevrolet, and then we have LED tail lights, and we've got custom exhaust tips. Yeah, I don't know if you want to open that. There's a for the fuel. There you go. You got your fuel behind the fin. Beautiful stuff.
Little dusty. We just got back from our first road trip in it.
Down the road and got a little bit of dust on her, and runs good, shifts good. Couple little tweaks on it. We've got to relocate some e-brake cables, and with the independent rear, we're going to have to readjust it a little bit. It's just little stuff. It's normal. You know, you take them, you shake them down, let them loosen up a little bit, see what they do. And by the time we're done with them, when the customer's got them, they're good to go. So. Now,
what would you classify this as? Pro Street, Pro Touring?
This is basically a Resto Mod.
A Resto Mod, okay.
Yeah, Resto Mod Portrait. I mean, you know, it's got the original body shell, but everything underneath is all modernized. You know, all the drivetrain, all the wiring, all the suspension. Like, you were in the car earlier, and you said smooth as a...
Oh, it feels like a brand new car.
Like a brand new car.
But then you look in the rearview mirror, you see the big fins, you know, you're in something from the 50s.
Yeah, you're not in it, but even the rims were custom made for the car because with the Corvette rear suspension, with the arm setup on them, there's not a lot of room. It's not like you can put that big deep dish rim on them, you know, with like if you had a 9-inch Ford or something like that. So these were specifically made for this setup. I could go on and on about this car.
I can't remember if it was the 55 or this 57, but one of the two. I think this one here, we're able to get the rear tires and rims off if you get it flat.
Yeah, the 55 we did. So it had the 9-inch Ford in it, and it had a big honking deep dish rim in it, and you actually had to drop. You had to undo the coilovers to drop the rear end down to get the tire and rim out of it.
That's not a car you want to get a flat in.
No, you don't want to get a flat in.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's not the only car that those kind of issues come up with. Willys Coupes are one of the worst culprits for that because you have the big Pro Street tires under them, under you know, a fender. They're tubbed. You can't get them to drop down far enough to get them off the wheel studs. Yeah, there's a fuel cell, custom fuel cell, and of course it's pressurized with the return line and the bigger pump. for the fuel injection on the motor. There's everything's just custom made. Drive shaft, all the mounts underneath. There's just a ton of hours in this car. You know, you see them and you go, wow, that's really nice, but there's got to be 1,000 hours in it.
All brand new glass in it. I think it's like tinted from the factory or something too.
Yeah, tinted from the factory, glass, all the doors, seals. The doors, seals are, you know, obviously a little bit harder than the original, so we're trying to keep the doors closed on it to get the heat on them and squish them a little bit, you know, because when you first do it, they're always a bit tight, getting the doors shut, stuff like that. And you can see the alarm signal light triggering off on the dashboard. And you know, I'm so pleased with the car. Like it's like John's gone through, you know, a lot of watching this thing go together, and I think now he appreciates all the work that goes into a custom car. You know, we'll hopefully update this again when John's down, the owner, and we'll get him out in the car and just do a quick little video with him at some point, hopefully in the next
couple burnouts, good shape.
Couple burnouts, and we were gonna. So the other day we wanted to take it out, and it was raining. So he says, "Well, I guess you can't take it out and do the burnouts that you guys normally do, and get all that smoke coming off the tires." I said, "Well, you know, we could try." So we'll have to try and get it out there and get them out on it. And bang through the gears.
I brought the dish soap today just for that purpose, but I guess we don't need it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can do that. I think we'll keep it nice and neat for him for now. No rubber chunks up on the underside. We went with a smaller muffler, which is a Bola muffler. Depending on how he likes the sound of it, we might end up putting a couple of resonators on.
And that was from...
I had nothing to do with it, John.
Yeah, there's a guy who put the loud muffler on right there.
It's all his fault.
Loud pipes save lives.
Loud pipes save lives.
That's right. And it wakes the neighbors up in that sleepy little town you're from. So there you go. You go up and down and from, they're all drinking beer. And yeah, I want to get this to a couple of shows because I just know people are going to go gaga with this thing. You know.
And this is something you can hop in with the fuel-injected motor and go the distance, hey?
It's got all kinds of some other features I don't want to say about because it's a security issue with the car, but there's all kinds of different controls and stuff on it that make it really interesting as far as starting procedures and stuff like that. So anyway, John, I hope you enjoy the car, and we're going to look forward to you driving it around and hopefully seeing it at some shows. There's a big one in the new year that I think we should go to. So stay tuned. What are we going to do next week? Oh, you know what? We've got the rescue of the 2 trucks. So we'll have to do that next week. And then I think by then, the Nova and the AMX should be ready to go. I think they're the next up.
Got some good episodes coming up.
Oh man, and we just got a whack of parts in for the Camaro. Now look at these bad boys. Those are for Phil's C10, the 64. 24 by 15s, 22 by 8.5s, custom for the truck. So we'll pull those out next week and you can have a little gander. Until then, see ya.